Hey, speaking of Leona, maybe she knows something. Hey Leona, do you know anything? Huh, me? I have no idea Kakona was- what? No, what are you talking, Dispute? Good day, good people. Your United States Aviators back, and we are here with more Hyper Danganronpa H20. Abandon all hope, and let me tell you, it is, oh boy, it's wild. It's wild, it is wild right now. Okay. So one thing that I like to do now before the trials is take a good old guess on who did it. So it wasn't Maya. We know it wasn't Maya. And we know for a fact it wasn't 4. So I'm gonna check them off of my list. Cross Maya out too. I didn't have her on the list actually, I forgot I'm playing as 4 now. We know it wasn't Chet, so let's cross Chet out. And we know it was not Kaku. I'm almost certain it's not Kakona. Almost certain. I feel so bad. So Kakona's not entirely off of my list because she did slip a note to Leona. So they could have been working together, and then somehow Leona maybe turned on her, I don't know. But that's the only reason I'm not entirely crossing out Kakona. So yes, guys, I know I keep apologizing every trial because I'm like, Kakona did it. Every single time I say it. But I can't cross her out. So yes, I am once again, she's on the table for me saying blame Kakona. With that, we have Koji and Hunter, Victoria and Oliver, Caesar, Leona, and Ash. So, from the remaining people, my biggest suspects are Leona and Kakona. And then Leona turns completely out of character. I realize that, but maybe Leona turns on Kakona and then uses that emotional reaction. She was also the last person to arrive. Uses that emotional reaction to get everybody off of her case. That's all I can think of. So Leona and Kakona, I think I'm gonna lock it in. Am I gonna lock it in? Hunter was super useful, I guess. Koji helped Maya, which doesn't mean anything, but I want to believe in Koji. I don't think it was Victoria. I feel like it's not her. Oliver? Maybe. I don't think it was Oliver either, but who knows. I'm locking in Leona and Kakona. First trial, I was dead wrong. Second trial, I was right, and then changed my mind, but was still right. I think I'm gonna lock in Leona and Kakona. I think that they were trying to kill somebody, and that somebody was Chet, and then Kakona died as a result, I guess. I don't know. Let's find out. That's enough theorizing. We have the game right in front of us. Let's figure it out for real. And we're green now. Also, I do think that we changed colors. I think we were red the first time, blue the second time, and now the background's green this third time. Let's start with the basic explanation. We don't need this. We understand. So we're discussing the murders of Chet Perez and Kakona Tamashiro, along with the attack on Maya Kanzania. So where do we start? Man, last time we were able to get into it when Maya told Ash to stop saying dumb shit. Okay, fuck off. How about this? It already seems like Oliver's trying to derail this though, so maybe it was him. How about this? We talk about the place the bodies were found. I can get behind that. Very well. We'll discuss the location where the bodies were discovered. It's time for the real trial to begin. So the bodies were in the nurse's office, right? Yes, I agree with that. I remember that's where I first saw him. I think Maya was found somewhere else, but she was moved to the nurse's office so that we could take care of her wounds. Yes, sir, I took care of her with my own 2 hands. She'll be better before we know it. So, if the bodies were found in the nurse's office, that must mean, that must be where they were murdered, right? Well, if you you seen Chet's room? I think that might be...
No, that's
wrong! Incorrect! Try again! Let's go. Let's go. I'm hyped for this case. Let's go. Alright. Huh? They weren't killed in the nurse's office? Have you seen Chet's room? Oh man, I have reason to believe they were killed somewhere else and moved to the nurse's office. There was an area that seemed more suspicious to me. Far more suspicious. And where would that be? Chet's room. And the ceremony room, to be honest. Both of them are bloody, but Chet's room, absolutely. Chet's room. His room was pretty messed up. But that doesn't make sense. How so? I'll tell you how so. The idea that the bodies were moved is dumb. That is, unless the killer had telekinesis. I agree with that! No, let's proceed. Just spit it out. The blood would have gotten all over the halls. I could dispute this. I could. It would have happened, though. What do you mean? If you were to carry the bodies from Chet's room to the nurse's office, blood would get everywhere. Are you suggesting that they cleaned the entire hallway? No, I don't think that happened. Huh, she's actually kind of got a point. I think this misunderstanding is due to the fact that I know something that not everyone else knows. Alright, so... And we'll dispute this
Objection!
one? Yeah. I found something that might be interesting to you. Just lend me an ear. Are you saying there's another way they could have done it? As a matter of fact, I am. They used the vents? That's interesting, I didn't know there were vents, but a tarp. They used tops that Hunter and I found in the nurse's office. This wide-eyed stare of hers is great. There are tarps involved? I should have known. Wait, tarps? In the cabinets in the nurse's office, there were 2 tops covered in blood. I'm assuming they were used to move the bodies without making a mess. So that means they were killed in Chet's room. I believe that is the most likely possibility, yes, at least for Chet. So, what now? Do we move our focus to Chet's room? What was the murder weapon? Yeah, let's talk about the murder weapon. Or weapons. Since 2 people died, maybe there are more than one weapon. That's incredibly wise coming from you, Koji. I guess that gives us a reason to talk about it. I guess we're going to discuss the murder weapon now. I need to think about what we found in Chet's room. The hammer and the other thing. The knife? Was it a knife and a hammer? I don't really remember any obvious murder weapons. Proceed, I disagree with that. There were a few things in Chet's room that seemed like they could have been used as weapons. There was a hammer, I agree, but it wasn't the hammer. Smash, smash. There was a knife, I agree with that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Yeah. I also like your agree face. You got that right. So you're saying it was the knife? That's correct. The knife matches best with Kakona and Chet's wounds. She's right. I checked their wounds and they looked really stabby. But Maya was a bit different. I agree. Based on the description you gave of Maya's wounds, I believe that the weapon wasn't a knife. But we didn't find something that could be used as another, unless it was like a shard of glass, maybe from the ceremony room? I think that Maya had been attacked with a shard of... Hey guys, hold on. Your boy called that right before. I was like, there was no other thing other than like glass that was in both of the rooms, but I don't know which room it would have come from. That makes sense. She was apparently attacked after Kakona and Chet were killed, which probably would have been after the killer left Chet's room, so they would have had glass. But yes, that's what I was thinking. Why would they be carrying around a shard? This is just like going into my mind, like just it's following my exact train of thought. Maybe they bought it with them just in case they were caught. That way, if someone sees them, they can attack that person. Well, that's a pretty risky strategy. They were already pushing it. What do you mean? Well, I never mentioned it, but there's a limit to how many people you can kill. So you didn't tell us all the rules. Are there any other rules we need to worry about? No, I swear, that's the only one. So what happens if someone exceeds the limit? They get punished. As simple as that. So if Maya had died, they would have been executed. Yep. They got real lucky when she survived. So if it is Koji, right? Right. Here's my thing. If it's Koji, Koji's freaking out right now. Like if he didn't actually treat Maya, and Maya dies, then they get punished. In fact, in this scenario, everyone could lose. Everyone could lose. Thank you, KEROKUMA. Huh? Why are you thanking me? You just confirmed that the killer is one person. Ah, he did! Oh! Oh, you look at you! Hold on, look at you! Trapping the boy. Damn it! Now that we know that the killer is one person thanks to KEROKUMA, our most credible source, we can continue on that basis. Why don't we just she mind game him hard? Let's go. Why don't we discuss the circumstances behind the victim's presence in Chet's room? Can we assume that Chet was— well, that throws out my theory of Kokona and Leona then. Huh, okay. We can assume that Chet was in his room simply because, well, that's his room. However, what was Kokona doing in there? Could she have been lured by the killer, where she and Chet were doing something there? Could it be possible that they were wrong, and she was killed somewhere else? That we're wrong, that's true. Leona, you know something. Once we figure out why Kokona was in Chet's room, we may find out who killed both of them. Leona seems to be acting suspicious. Maybe she knows something. So, does anyone know what Kokona was doing in Chet's room? Did anyone see anything? Did they see her? Maybe she was talking to him about something. No. What could they have been talking about? The motive, maybe? No. Are you suggesting that Kokona would take Chet with her if she murdered someone? I didn't know her super well, but wasn't she pretty close to Leona? I feel like Kokona would— yeah, Kokona would take her. I can't dispute that either. Hey, speaking of Leona, maybe she knows something. Hey Leona, do you know anything? Huh, me? I have no idea Kokona was— what? No, what are you talking, dispute? What? No, I don't know nothing, not a thing. I don't know nothing at all, not a thing. I'm completely clueless. Objection? Are you sure about that? Sure about what? You claim that you had no idea what Kokona was doing yesterday, but someone else claims otherwise. Huh? I'm telling you, I never saw her yesterday, not at all. That might be false, but that might also be true. You didn't see her, but that's true. You're right, you didn't see her. See, look at me. I was like, I don't think you saw her, but you did receive something from her. Thank you, Leona, for your very deep and masculine. According to Oliver, Kokona slipped a note under your door. Is that true? Just tell us, Leona. We need anything to help us move forward. It's true. Whoa, so Kokona delivered you a note. Ooh, I'm excited. What was on it? Kokona told me she was going to murder Chet. Everyone went silent for a few seconds as it set in. What? What do you mean? So she killed him and then herself? A murder-suicide. There has to be more to it than that. There does. She told me she was going to murder Chet since he seemed like she could take him out without risk. Okay, that was a small typo. Okay. And she said she would take me with her. Did you not try to stop her? Of course I did. I spent the entire day trying to find her, but I couldn't. She must have known I would try to stop her and hid. But why? Leona, do you still have that note with you? Yes. Could you read them for us. They might help us get more of a grasp for the case. If it'll help, then I'll do it. Alright, well, I'd like to readjust my way of thinking. I do not think it was Leona. Don't think it was Leona. Leona pulls a crumpled piece of paper out of her pocket and then straightens it out in front of her. Dear Leona. Oh look, she's alive! Hey! Oh my gosh. Oh, okay, Kokona, look. This is the last time I'm gonna be able to apologize. No, I don't have to apologize yet. You might have killed Chet. I take it back. Take it back. I'm not apologizing yet. You might have done it. You might have done it. You might have done it. I might have been right this time. You guys. But she had good intentions, kinda. You don't deserve to be here. Before I met you, I was involved in a world full of people that only cared about keeping up appearances and maintaining a carefully composed image. You changed everything. You were one of the first people I've met who's truly genuine to others. And to yourself. You aren't afraid to show other people your true colors. And those colors are the most vivid, beautiful array of colors I've ever seen. You're a kind, wonderful person. That's why you can't be here. Someone like you doesn't deserve to be locked up in a place like this. I know you're not the type of person to kill someone, but I can't let you rot here. So I'll do it. I'm going to go after Chet. I'm going to go to his room and kill him with a hammer that I got from the storage room. I don't think he'll be able to put up much of a fight. I know you don't want to help me with this, but if I can do anything to help get you out of here, I'll do it. And I suppose it's not entirely selfless. I want to get out of here too. I just want to get out of here with you. You've taught me that I don't have to put up walls, and then I can let my guard down. Every moment I spent with you has made me learn so much about the world and about myself. I want to have moments like that for the rest of my life, and I don't want you to have to waste away in here. You deserve to do great things, and if I have to kill to allow that, then I suppose I have no choice. See you soon. Sincerely, Kokona. We all stand there in silence. Okay, look, I'm sorry, Kokona, I take it back. You're a good cat. I'm sure I freaking hashtag sorry, Kokona. My bad. I'm sorry, Kokona. I'm sorry. She died for me. If I had found her and stopped her, I could have prevented everything. Hey, you can't blame yourself. She acted on her own. You didn't make the decision. But, Leona, you can't blame yourself for the actions of others. You weren't the one to do it. Just like Maya and freaking August. But someone did. And it's our job to figure out who did it, and we cannot falter. Someone killed both Kokona and Chet, and it's our goal to discover the true killer and avenge those who died. So now that we have this new piece of evidence, we know something new. What is it? Kokona did not kill Chet, and she did not kill herself. Well, what makes you say that? In the note to Leona, Kokona mentions the murder weapon she planned on using, a hammer. Neither Chet nor Kokona showed signs of blunt trauma, only stab wounds. So what does that mean? Ooh, A or B. Kokona changed weapons or they were interrupted. Kokona's murder plan was interrupted. Interrupted? Correct. The hammer that was mentioned in the letter was still at the crime scene. Wait. Yes, it was. It's impossible for it to have been planted because the only one who knew about the hammer was Leona. So unless Leona is the killer, which may still be a possibility, the hammer had to have been brought by Kokona. Which brings us back to the crime scene. If we discuss the crime scene a little bit more, it may bring us to the truth. Hey, I just realized something. What is it? So, do you all remember how the water in the tank was shattered? Yes, in Chet's room, yeah. Of course I do. My shoes ended up getting soaking wet. Let me tell you about wet socks, you guys. That's my biggest pet peeve in the whole world. So, I was like shaking that one time when this game got me. I'm shaking for a completely different reason now. I think the killer might have used the hammer. It must have been used to shatter the glass. That makes sense. Nothing else in the room really looked like it could have shattered the glass. But why was it shattered in the first place? It seems so freaking unnecessary. I'm wondering that too. And I suppose we know our next conversation topic. So, here's the thing. The glass must have been shattered because without it, it would lead to finding out the killer. It would lead to the killer's identity. So, what would be left behind that could be washed away by water? I don't know. I really don't know. So why was the glass shattered? I bet the killer needed to get... Why? The killer needed to get to the fish. No. Proceed. Maybe we got the wrong cause of death. Maybe they were drowned instead. No. I mean, the scene was pretty bloody. What if they used it to clean off? That way they can move around without alerting suspicion. Agreed. Yeah, you're right! Okay. You got me there. I agree. With the amount of blood the killer would have gotten covered. But wouldn't they then get soaking wet? That would have left wet splotches in the hall, just like August. Not necessarily. Using things like Chet's spare clothes, they could have been able to dry off. Not to mention, they also had a significant amount of time between the murders, 10 whole minutes. Interesting. And when we found the bodies, they could have easily dried off after being yeah. So the reason the tank was broken was because they smashed it to wash the blood off. I guess that makes sense. They could go to their room and get a spare outfit, but if they were covered in blood, that would have looked pretty suspicious. That makes sense, but isn't there something else we haven't really talked about before? Well, what is it? The ceremony room. It was covered in blood, but we haven't really discussed it. That's been bothering me too, in all honesty. Why could there possibly be blood in the ceremony room? Looks like the ceremony room is our next topic of discussion. We're closing on the killer, I can feel it. I really don't know why the ceremony room was covered in blood though. How did the ceremony room get covered in blood? Maybe it was... Ooh, maybe it was brought there. In that case, it might be Tamako, and she might just have gone insane. What if we were somehow wrong about the crime scene? Maybe the ceremony room... No, that's wrong. That one's wrong. I'm sorry, homie. Man, it feels like we keep going in circles. Hey, weren't there shattered glass in the ceremony room? Maybe that came from the water tank. Maybe. Maybe? Maybe. I think I might want to agree with that one. But why would they have glass there? Oh, no, I take that one back. Proceed. No, I didn't want to. Oh, I just finger slipped. What? Okay, well, I agreed with the first one accidentally because my down arrow stuck, and I was like, well, but that's the one that I was like, maybe the first time. You guys remember that? You guys remember I almost had it right, and then I was like, I wanted to go through entirely first, but apparently not. The blood was brought there? Yes, and it connects to another strange thing we noticed in the case. Did anyone notice how there wasn't any blood on the floor in the nurse's office? Oh yeah, I remember you pointing that out. I believe the killer used something like a jar or a bottle to collect the blood dripping from the tables, which they brought to the ceremony room. If it's Tamako, I'm going to be so mad. But why? Maybe it was to throw us off track. A good thing we didn't fall for it. Maybe we can ask the killer themselves. Huh? Did you figure it out? It's simple, really. We just have to think about why the killer was in Chet's room. I guess the killer is the only person who knew that the door was unlocked, and that would be Tamako. Once you think about who could have known that they could simply enter his room, the answer becomes clear. So who was it? I glance around at everyone near me. The killer was. Hey, we're doing that thing! Maya, Leona, Koji, Hunter, Thor, Caesar, Ash, Victoria, Oliver, Tamako Fujiwara. With that, we have Koji and Hunter, Victoria and Oliver, Caesar, Leona, and Ash. It was you, Tamako. Huh? We need to think about it from a logical perspective. I doubt the killer would go into Tess' room if they didn't think they could get in. They would have to know that the door was unlocked. It would have been impossible to convince him to let them in because, at the time, he was being attacked by Kakona. However, you knew that his door was unlocked because you and Chet had an agreement. What could you possibly mean by agreement? Ever since we arrived, you had been taking Chet's blood, and eventually, you reached an agreement where he consented to the donations. On certain nights, you would go— why would she tell us this? You would go and visit him and take his blood, and you knew his door was unlocked. That's bogus. Utter horse manure. These accusations are— you told us! Where's your proof? Show me the proof. Normally, this part would be Maya's job. Let me guess. You want me to spell everything out for you so you can shoot me down. Ain't happening, sister. Did I say that's what I would do? I'm going to do this my own way. You may be hiding behind denial, but I'm going to blind you with the truth. Give me your best shot. I've always wanted a true battle like this. She really has snapped, hasn't she? Prepare yourself, Tamako, because I won't back down. Now, Tamako, I'm not— so it is her, but she's a nut, apparently. She's a true nut. Now, Tamako, I'm not going to let you push lies forward. I'm going to show you the truth. So let me lay out the facts. The first person to plan a murder was Kakona. The murder weapon was this person— wait, this person used— that's the hammer. This person went to Chet's room. The person arrived and did not kill Chet. This murder did not involve one person. In a way, it was a group effort. Kakona also planned a murder, specifically to kill Chet. She equipped herself with a hammer and went to his room, where she attempted to attack him. However, she wasn't able to kill him, and this is the part where the true killer comes in. Round 2. The person who entered the room was the crazy broad, right here, who I am probably a little bit over right now. This person came with a knife and was planning on probably taking Chet's blood, right? The first person to die was— oh, this was in the Monokuma file. Chet died soon after. After killing the remaining person, the killer used the hammer to break the tank clean. Now this part is where the true killer comes into play. You came into the room, and when you saw Kakona, you stabbed her in the back, which is where— oh, so you were coming in to take blood with the knife. And you stabbed Kakona. But why kill Chet? After that, you killed Chet and found yourself as a double murderer. After both murders, you would have been covered in blood, which is when you used the hammer that Kakona brought. The shattered water tank you used to clean the water off, the blood off of yourself, and da-da-da-da-da. This is the part where you covered things up. After drying off, you got a tarp or went to the nurse's office. You got a tarp, I guess. After taking the bodies to the nurse's office, you collected their blood or hid their cause of death. You couldn't have hidden their cause of death, so you collected their blood, eh? So was the true motive the ceremony room, and you knew what the ceremony room was for? And that's why you're going crazy right now? After finishing up in the nurse's— That's something I thought about at the very beginning when we were investigating, and I thought that this would just be a part of, like, the storyline and it would lead up to the murder, but I didn't think it would be the cause of the murder. This is just speculation, by the way. It could just be not a It's a ceremony room, let's be honest. It's for demon ceremonies. After finishing in the nurse's office, you splattered blood in the ceremony room. or attacked Maya? I feel like you splattered blood and then attacked Maya? I really don't know this one. Splatter blood. Then after you were done in the ceremony room, you attacked Maya. Now begins the cover-up. Okay, so I got something wrong. Unless I didn't. After that, you went to your room with a piece of glass just in case you needed a weapon. Now, you can go back and check those two statements. I just assumed that I was wrong and she was saying the same thing. You saw Maya standing in front of my door, and to avoid getting seen, you slashed her in the back, causing her to go unconscious. You have no alibi. The only one that could have reasonably killed Chet and That's a typo. The only person who could have killed Chet and Kokona and attacked Maya has to be you. You. Oh geez, I guess she really did it. I figured she'd snap eventually. I figured she'd be murdered. You were the one that killed Kokona? You simpletons. Uh-oh. You think I was the killer? Ha! As if I would ever. You know. You don't know killers are executed, but I, the great Tamako Fujiwara, cannot die. The dead bend to my command. I would never sink so low as to commit such a crime. It's foolish. Simply, utterly foolish. Jesus, what the hell is going on with her? She looks weird. As if she's possessed? What the hell's going on? It seems as if you're showing your true colors. My true colors? You would love that, wouldn't you? I bet you fancy yourself to be quite the detective. So, is the detective going to spell everything out for me just like Maya always did? Just try it. I'll never give in. I'll do exactly as she did, so sit quietly as I spell out the truth. Kya ha 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 ha. Huh? Ah! Climactic finale. It's that Danganronpa music. I love it so much. Let's do it. The case starts off with a plan for murder. Kokona decided that she would take advantage of the motive and escape with Leona. And her victim would be Chet Perez, the good boy, the innocent astronomer, a future luminary of the stars, just like Kaito. He probably wasn't going to be an astronaut, but you know, I loved him anyway. She figured he wouldn't be able to fight back and would be an easy victim. So she took a hammer from the storage room and went to his room. And at that moment, and when the moment was right, she attacked. However, they were interrupted. Before Kokona could strike a killing blow, the true killer came in. So maybe Tamako told us that the door was open. But this demon side of her is the one that did it, and she actually doesn't know that she did it? I don't know. If that's the case, then it's kind of sad, because, like, that's like a freaking Gonta scenario. I didn't do it, but apparently I did it. Before Kokona could strike a killing blow, the true killer came in. They knew that the room would be unlocked because they occasionally meet Chet and take his blood. The killer saw Kokona in the room and attacked. They killed Kokona right in front of Chet. The killer then turned their knife onto Chet, who had just witnessed the crime. And he, like Kokona, became another victim. However, by now the killer was covered in blood and would need to take care of the bodies. And the only place they could get water to clean off was from the tank in the the tank in the room. I feel like I'm surprised nobody heard the smash of a tank. After they dried off, the killer began the process of hiding their crime. I guess if we're talking Danganronpa, then these are soundproof rooms. They started by wrapping the bodies in tarps and then taking them to the nurse's office. They then collected blood from the jars using some kind of glass container, like a, yes, like a bottle or jar. And then, using that blood, they went into the ceremony room and splashed it around, possibly to throw off the investigation. No, not to throw off the investigation. They were doing some kind of demon ceremony. As they finished their plot, they ran into trouble in the form of Maya Kanzaniya standing in front of my door. This shocked them. They realized that if she saw them, they would become immediately suspicious, and they knew that Maya was the case solver extraordinaire herself. So they used the shard of glass that they had been carrying and attacked Maya. And that is how the killer was able to kill Kokona, Tamashiro, and Chet Perez, as well as attack Maya Kanzaniya. And that person, the person has to be you, Tamako Fujiwara, the super high school level supernaturalist. It's you. I rest my case. So is it voting time? Is it? Gosh, I'm so excited! The voting booths appeared, and we all began to enter our votes. Tamako remains silent, but all eyes are glancing at her. Eventually, everyone has entered their votes, and the booths disappear. Looks like all of you voted for Tamako Fujiwara, and you were correct. So she really did it. I guess I can't say this was a major shocker. Honestly, I was counting down the days until she killed someone. I never thought it would be 2 people. So Tamako, are you gonna get... so we're gonna get an explanation, or will this go unexplained, just like pretty much everything else you do? I suppose I should explain. In your summary, you missed a few details, and I can't say I want to go without some justification. Huh? She changed again. First of all, I never wanted to kill Chet. As hard as this may be to believe, I considered him a close friend. During those bloodletting sessions, I was able to get to know him. He was really a good kid, just naive. I went in expecting a regular meeting, but instead I saw Kokona trying to attack him with a hammer. I had a knife in my hand, and my friend was being attacked, so I did what anyone would do, and I helped him. But Kokona ended up dead. She was lying on the floor bloody, and Chet was shaking in the corner, staring at me in horror. At this point, I knew there was no way out of what I had done. I tried to reason with him. I told him that if he didn't tell anyone, or even helped me cover it up, I would bring him with me using the motive. But he refused. I saw what happened to August and to Kami, and I didn't want the same to happen to me. So I did what I had to do. So you were friends with Chet? I suppose. It wasn't a typical friendship, but I trusted him. Chet was a trustworthy person. Take my regret in killing someone like him to the grave, along with everything else I've done. Tamako, you're acting different. Has everything until now been an act? In a way, yes. But not in the way you think. What does that mean? I am not Tamako Fujiwara. I never was. Huh? Then who are you? Buckle up, because this is a pretty long, hard-to-believe story. For a while, I've been somewhat out of myself. Ever since we've arrived, I felt like I didn't quite belong in my body. As if I was sharing my body with someone else. It's been getting worse and making me increasingly paranoid to the point where I could barely sleep at night. It was the sign of possession. Are you seriously going to try to say you were possessed? Let me finish. After I killed Chet and Kokona, I realized that I had an opportunity. With that much blood, I could perform an extra powerful exorcism, and maybe that would help me get whatever it was out of my head. So I collected their blood and I took it to the ceremony room where I performed the exorcism. That's where my revelation occurred. Now, Tamako Fujiwara was a nice girl by all accounts. She was playing with friends and she was drawing and sweets and like any other kid. So why is she suddenly talking about her childhood? However, one day, something terrible happened. She was walking across the street and an absent-minded truck driver didn't notice her. However, just because of the collision, just before the collision, Tamako received a miraculous burst of reflex and strength and jumped out of the way, okay? It was a miracle. She had gotten out of it with nothing more than a few scrapes and bruises, but then something else happened. She fell into a deep sleep and went comatose. Eventually she woke up, but now she was different. She developed an unhealthy obsession with the supernatural. She would spend hours reading books and about ghosts and demons. Her personality did a complete 180, and she became a creepy girl obsessed with the occult. But that wasn't Tamako. That was me. I am the ghost possessing Tamako's body. Huh? Ghost? What's going on? Jeez Louise. When she survived that accident, it was because in that moment, when she was closer to death than ever before, she was possessed. I'm not sure who it was, or when I died, but I was floating around, and the near-death experience caused a door for me to go through. And that coma was the period where I was adjusting to her body, for I wasn't aware of what I had done. During that period, her memories and her body became mine, but I became the dominant personality. Perhaps deep down, I knew what I was, and that's why I became so obsessed with the supernatural. I lived my entire life in someone else's body, unaware of who I really was. And now in this place of death, where I'm constantly nearing what could be the end of my own end, I felt the afterlife tugging at me, and I realized my body isn't mine. And at that moment, I faced a dilemma. Do I complete the exorcism and give Tamako back control of her body, or do I continue to live mine? Yes, you should probably continue to live your own, but I couldn't do that, trapped in here. I resolved myself to escape so that I could give myself the time to make the choice. But in the end, I guess I'll return to the afterlife and Tamako will have never lived past her young age. But maybe that's just her fate. Do you seriously expect us to believe that? Believe what you want. I suppose I could just be making things up as a way to cope, but it's real to me, and I want you to know that. Okay. I have a question. What is it? If you had escaped, do you know whether or not you would complete the exorcism? I think I know what I would do. Like, Zoinks, there's a ghost here, man! What is it? I wouldn't do it. Well, why? I suppose I've become attached to this life. I've traveled the world and I've seen the worst. I've seen its worst, but also its best. I've met people of all walks of life. I've heard their stories. My parents might not be my own, but they are the ones who raised me. And this body may be borrowed, but the life I lived was my own. To bring the real Tamako back, a girl who skipped years ahead into a world she doesn't know anymore, I could never do that. I feel horrible, knowing that it's my fault that this little girl is trapped away in her own soul, but that gave me a chance to live a life. If I had never possessed her, she would have died. I guess it's fate. And while I'm about to die, I'm happy. I'm happy that I was able to live out my own life. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, well that was crazy. Crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Crazy. Absolutely insane. Maybe I should have expected this. Maybe I should have expected this. But absolutely not so. I'm tired of listening to this sob story. Let's wrap this up with a grand finale. I know many of you were scared of me, but I prepared a very special execution for Tamako Fujiwara, the super high school level supernaturalist. But thank you. I'm glad that I was able to be Tamako with all of you. Are you ready? Let's do this! And Tamako, I'm sorry for never giving you the chance to live, but I hope that you get to go to a better place. Alright, well, Tamako and the ghost of Tamako about to die. Tamako finds herself in the dark execution room. Surrounding her is a huge pentagram drawn with some kind of white material. In the corner, something catches her eye. One of the ends of the star catches on fire. Uh-oh. More fire starts at the base. At the other points, the flames begin to approach Tamako. As the flames surround her, sweat forms profusely on her skin, her eyes being held tight, as if she looks, and she looks terrified. But then what? Her expression of fear is replaced by one of confusion. The spirit left her body. She takes on a more innocent expression, as if she had suddenly become a different person. But before this new expression can change, the fire consumes her. She can't so much as scream as her entire body burns up, and eventually the fire begins to dim. And soon, they're gone, leaving nothing but a shriveled, burned corpse. Okay, so maybe she was possessed. Alright. Okay. Alright. Okay. In that case, I still don't know why she told us that she knew that Chet's room was unlocked. Did she actually want to get caught? Maybe? I don't know. But I just don't know why she told us that the door was unlocked. That's the only part that I don't know. That's what I don't know. The execution ends and we all stand in a circle shocked. Do you think she was lying? At this point, I'm not sure. Tamako probably had some kind of mental illness. I refuse to believe she was possessed. Yeah, there's no way she actually saw a ghost. I'm sure she was just, you know. I agree. At this point, I'm not sure what to believe. What do you think, For? Well, I think it really doesn't matter. What do you mean? Whether she was possessed or not really doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we can't prove anything. But I doubt that she would lie to us just as she was about to die. So whether it was true or not doesn't matter, because it was real to her. She lived the life that she felt was true, and didn't regret it. I suppose I can respect her for that. All we can do now is live the lives we believe in. Our lives are the only things that we have left. I have to disagree. Those aren't the only things we have to live. We have left. We have each other too. We need to learn to trust in each other. Otherwise, everyone's about to get slaughtered again, because this keeps happening. Well said, bro. If we can't believe in each other, we can only believe in ourselves. And if you only believe in yourself, well, that's just lonely. So I'm glad that I have you guys as my crew. I guess I could stand to put my faith in you guys a bit more. I guess I never really knew that side of Kokona, but I can't give up on my faith in others. I know Kokona was a good person, and I know that all of you are good people. Even if I try to hide it, even if you try to hide it, I'll trust all of you. This is dumb. You guys realize we just saw someone die, right? And that's why we have to hold on to hope. Do you see now, For? You can't just rely on yourself. We're all in it together, so trust us. I suppose. There's no doubt about it, our numbers are dwindling. There are, what, 8, 9 of us left because we're including Maya. But I still need to have faith in all of us that are alive. Even though one of us is probably a traitor, I guess I'll disregard that for now. We have strength in numbers. Maya is my friend. I realize that now. I can't just hold petty grudges against her. So I'll have faith in others. I can trust others. After all, I still have my goal. I have to take down... What? I have to take down Freedom Academy. No, you can't just end me on... What? Maybe by saying there's a traitor, you are the traitor. Are you the traitor, For? Not like in a bad sense, but... Huh. I wasn't expecting that, but this was really... This episode, the past 2 episodes, 5 and 6... very well done. But before I get into that, let's go ahead and get some of these people fade into red. So long to you, Chet. Toodaloo to you, Kokona. And so long, the person we knew as Tamako. They are gone. We have Ash, Caesar, For, Hunter, Maya, who's hurt, Koji, Leona, Oliver, and Victoria. Just like that. That's the end of Chapter 3, the end of Episode 6, and I hope you all have enjoyed it. Because Chapter 3, so far, my favorite chapter. Incredible. Truly incredible. I have no other words. This was a very good chapter. It was very well done. It was very well written, except for I still do wonder why Tamako told us that Chet's door was unlocked. I feel like that's something we should have figured out for ourselves, you know? Well, he left it unlocked, so we couldn't have figured that out for ourselves. But she told us, and that's the only thing that I don't really understand. Maybe you guys can explain it to me because I don't know why she would tell us that. I don't know. But maybe she was trying to get caught too, just like Kami. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of Chapter 3. I hope you guys enjoyed it because I loved Chapter 3. This was great. This was one of the... Like, this is one of the best chapters. This was better than some, like, canon Danganronpa chapters. This was better than a lot of canon Danganronpa chapters. I can't lie. So, I hope you guys are excited for the next part, as I am, because we left on a little bit of a cliffhanger, and she was like, I can't forget my goal. Everyone here is gonna help me. Take down Freedom Academy. That makes me think that she is kind of somewhat a traitor of some sort. I just don't know how yet. But we're gonna find out in the next 3 chapters, I guess, because we're only at Chapter 3 right now. It feels like we're so much further along, you know? Like, part of me felt like, oh, this is Chapter 4. So, Chapter 4 and Chapter 5. But I kind of like everyone who's left. I do. I like everyone who's left. So what do we do? I don't want to see any of the remaining people die. I don't. I really don't. Ladies and gentlemen, we also have to find out Caesar's talent, you know? And Caesar might not have a last name. Maybe Caesar's a robot. Ladies and gentlemen, United States Aviators actually taking off this time. It is the year of the aviator. And I'm asking you to stay classy, passengers, and I will see you all for the next episode of Hyper Danganronpa H20 or H20 if you don't know yet, because that's also something I have questions about. Toodaloo, Flight Crew.